Wonderhussy here. Just crouching in the shade of my car because, well, there's no other shade in this godforsaken desert I'm in. And why am I out here in the middle of August, you ask? Well, it's because I'm looking for another hot spring, of course. What's more enjoyable on a 90-degree August day than soaking in some hot water? Yeah, I know I'm crazy, but, well, what can I say? I'm a hot spring nut. I love trying to go to as many natural hot springs as I can. And today, I finally made time to go check out a hot spring that's been on my radar for a while. It's in that guidebook that I use, the hot pools of this. I think there's hot springs and hot pools of the Northwest and hot springs and hot pools of the Southwest. And well, it's listed in that book. It's called Reese River Hot Spring or Valley of the Moon. And well, I think I found it. I mean, it's actually a pretty straightforward drive and it's not very far off the highway. And you can park right here. I saw all the reeds and grasses and look. This really cool natural stone, almost volcanic looking pool. I mean, I guess that's natural. It looks natural, but wow, it's crazy how it's shaped in such a perfect circle like that. That's really neat. Now, looking at the water, it doesn't look super appealing right now. I mean, there's kind of like some scum on top of it. There's a big old dead dragonfly floating on the surface. But it looks like it goes down pretty deep in the middle there. And of course, I got my thermometer here. Well, I don't know how accurate this is, these infrared thermometers, but it says 105. Let's just find out if that's accurate. I'm going to stick my toe in. You know me, I ain't scared of a little scum, nor a dead dragonfly. Okay, let's see. Ooh, yeah, that is hot, but it feels good. Or I should say, it would feel really good if it wasn't 90 degrees out here right now. You can see we're in the middle of this baking hot desert valley. Sagebrush plain. And well, you know what? I bet the stars out here are unbelievable. And this pool would be amazing to float in at night. But I'm not really sure what... Well, I'm not sure. I don't think camping is allowed on site here because I think this is technically private property. There's a ranch over yonder. And I think this is part of their property. And they let people come here and soak in the spring. As far as I know. I mean, according to everything I've read, it's okay to soak here. But the book says you can't camp here. Now, I don't know if that's really enforced or what. But, well, to be honest, it being August and it being 90 degrees and there being no shade here, I don't really think I'd want to camp here anyway. As appealing as it would be to soak in that thing under the stars. You know, I did bring an inflatable floaty, you know, one of those inner tube round donut shaped floaties. And if I blew that up and plopped my booty down in the middle of it and just leaned back and looked up at the sky, well, you'll have to use your imagination. Instead of this blazing hot sun, there would be just a billion stars and the Milky Way. Sounds tempting. Well, I'll think about it because there is a campground, a legitimate free campground 20 minutes from here that has cell signal. I mean, there's actually cell signal here. So, you know, realistically, I could just go camp over there and come soak here at night. So that's one option. But I have another idea. There's another hot spring. Well, I don't want to say in the area because it's pretty friggin' remote out here, but it's kind of nearby and it's really remote. And I kind of feel like I want to go check that one out too and camp out there. So I might just want to hit this one for a quick dip. But haven't quite decided yet. This might help me make up my mind. I mean, so here's the pool we just looked at. And then there's my rig. Over there, there's two more clusters of bulrushes. So I think there might be more hot spring pools over there. So I guess let me go investigate and see if there's another tub to soak in that is nice enough to make this place worth staying here overnight and skipping the other hot spring. Okay, I'm gonna head to this outcropping first. I have a pretty strong hunch there's another pool here. And to be honest, it's because I have some intel. I have a viewer named Paula. Her and her dad both watch this channel. Hi guys. And Paula sent me some pictures of this hot spring not too long ago. They were here about a week ago, I think. And it seemed to me like there was more than one tub. So let me just do some more poking around. Okay, here's that other cluster of bulrushes, but I don't see another tub. I mean, it looks like there might be some kind of pond in the middle of those reeds, but I don't know. Huh. Try to get closer, I guess. Snakes coming through. I don't know if there's like snakes that hang out. Yes, there are actually snakes that hang out at hot springs. What am I saying? First of all, I've seen a rattlesnake myself at Deep Creek Hot Springs down by Apple Valley, California. And then I made that video called Snakeskin Hot Spring at another hot springs in northern Nevada that I didn't actually see a rattlesnake at, but I saw a bunch of rattlesnake skins. So I gotta be careful. Okay, I don't see another hot spring tub. I mean, I hiked as close as I could get to this other cluster of reeds, and well, by gum, I mean, there's some kind of depression in the middle of it, but I don't think it's a soakable pool. Okay, well, there's one other mound over there in the far distance. We'll go check that out. Third time's a charm. Isn't that what they say? Woo, it's windy out here, but it feels good because, like I said, 90-degree heat, so any kind of breeze helps. The only downside to the wind is I can't get any cool overhead drone footage. It's too windy for my drone, but whatever. You could see pretty much what I was talking about anyways without me having to use a fancy drone. Okay, we're hiking along here through the sagebrush, heading up to knoll number 3. The Sagey Knoll. You guys ever hear about that one? The lone assassin on the Sagey Knoll. Sounds like a Louis L'Amour novel. All right, let's see if there's a pool over here. I'm guessing no, because otherwise I feel like there'd be a more beaten down trail, and there really wasn't a trail. Huh. Following my nose. Is there a hot spring in these reeds? And the answer is not really. Well, golly dang it. I'll be a monkey's uncle. You know, now that I think about it, I think I may have gotten Paula's message confused. Her and her dad were on a trip, and they went to a couple different hot springs, and so I think they sent me pictures from both of those hot springs, and that's what I'm getting mixed up in my memory. So I think that awesome round rock pool over there is it. And gosh, even though it was hot and scummy, I feel like, well, gee whiz, I came all the way out here. I should probably go for a dip. Even though it's 90 degrees, and the last thing I really feel like doing is getting in hot, scummy water right now. I feel like if I want to add this hot spring to my list, you know, I keep a list of all the hot springs I visited. Well, I don't really feel like I can add it to my list unless I actually soaked in it. That's right, I actually did make a list of all the hot springs I've been to, and I think, oh gosh, there's over 80 of them. 80, mostly in the United States, but I've been to a couple in other countries. All right, well, unfortunately, I guess I better put on my bikini so I don't aggravate the YouTube censors, so hang on. And while I'm doing this, just allow me to indulge in a little ranting about how asinine it is that I have to put these 2 triangular pieces of cloth to hide 2 tiny little round dots that are so offensive it would ruin everyone's day if they saw the light of day. I don't get it. And for that matter, I don't understand why I have to put another triangle of cloth over my other sinful areas. This society is all screwed up. And that, my friends, is why I wear a mask when I go into public places. If I got COVID, I wouldn't be able to do this anymore. You know, I kind of like having my lungs. Okay, let's go back and get in the old volcanic Reese River Valley of the Moon hot spring. Look at this. It's pretty cool. I mean, I don't mean to be disparaging about the scum. I've certainly gone in much grosser looking hot springs. This one ain't nothing. Wow! Oh, wow. Hey, this is actually pretty nice. Wow, what a great little hot spring. It's a great temperature too, even though it is 90 degrees. I don't feel hot at all. I mean, yeah, I just have my booty in the water, basically. Everything else is out. But, oh my God, if I had a cooler full of cold drinks, I could easily see spending the day here. Might be more fun with some friends, I guess, but Well, I'm on a solo road trip. A 5-week solo road trip all around northern Nevada, Oregon, and Washington State. So unfortunately, I don't have any friends with me on this leg of the trip, but you know, this pool here is not too far from Vegas, so I could see coming back here sometime with some friends and doing a little camp out, you know, a little social distancing hang. Let's get a close-up look at the old dead dragonfly. It's a big one. Here, feller. Oh, poor little guy. He must have just got too close. It's like Icarus got too close to the sun. This guy got too close to the water. He was just trying to take a drink. Look how pretty, though. Maybe if I set him out on a rock, he'll dry out and I can take him with me as a sort of totem. I don't know. Is that gross? It's so pretty, though. He's got this really cool red body with these really cool, like, tiger spots on his wings. Beautiful. I've always really liked dragonflies. For whatever reason, I thought they were always blue, but I guess there's all different kinds of colors. Okay, there. I put him by my Fitbit so I don't forget him. You know what I mean? I can take him home and dry him out thoroughly and then, like, spray him with some varnish or shellac or something and, I don't know, make art out of him. Why not? Oh, I just caught a whiff of something funky. I hope it's not me. It didn't smell like sulfur, though, like a hot spring. It smelled like... What? To be honest, it smelled like human funkiness. I mean, I have been camping for about 4 or 5 days, but I have been to one hot spring and one ice-cold creek in the meantime, and I took baths in both of those, so... I don't know, I'm pretty assiduous about staying clean when I'm car camping. You know, I have soap and a washcloth and everything, you know? Pits and bits. All that being said, I guess maybe I need to put on some more deodorant. Hey, just be glad this isn't smell-o-vision. I love this little hot spring. I feel bad. I guess I was kind of grumpy and predisposed to not like it when I got here because, well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I accidentally drove to the wrong place first. I just punched it into Google Maps because I had it pinned on my Google map, and I put in Reese. I guess I wasn't paying attention, and it auto-filled it for me to Reese River Valley instead of Reese River Hot Spring. And so it took me, oh gosh, 30 miles, I think, out of my way. So I'm driving along, listening to music, singing along, and I went, wait a minute, I didn't think it was this far away. And I got to the point where Google said it was, and there was no hot spring there. So then I realized my mistake, and I think I ended up going a total of 54 miles out of my way. And so, well, I'm frugal. So then I started thinking about how much money I just wasted on gas. And then I started worrying that, oh no, did I burn up too much gas? And now I can't go to that other hot spring. But there's signal here. So I was able to check the route to this other hot spring, and I have plenty of gas to get there. And then to the nearest town, which happens to be Battle Mountain, Nevada. If you've ever been to Battle Mountain, well, let me tell you something. Apparently, some fancy East Coast liberal elite publication called it the armpit of America, I think back in the 80s. And, well, kind of reminds me of, if you watch those videos I made about my loneliest road trip where I drove the length of US 50, aka the loneliest road in America. Well, that moniker, the loneliest road, was meant to be disparaging in an article in Life magazine that they wrote about that highway. And they said it was, you know, really lonely and desolate and there's no towns and it's the loneliest road in America. Well, they didn't mean it in a kind way, but Nevada, or the Nevada Board of Tourism, took it and ran with it and turned it into a friggin', well, it's like a tourism powerhouse now. Everybody likes driving the loneliest road. Matter of fact, there's so many people on it, it's not really lonely anymore, which you would know if you watched my series of videos about that. But anyway, in a similar vein, Battle Mountain, I guess, ran with the whole armpit of America moniker, and they go, okay, well, if we're the armpit of America, well, then by golly, we're going to have an armpit festival every summer, I think. I'm sure it got canceled this year because of the dang coronavirus, but I always wanted to go to that festival. I think it's sponsored by Old Spice, and I think they might have like some kind of armpit contest, which, well, if you're easily offended by body hair, you might want to avert your gaze or pause the video, but I feel like I might have a pretty good chance at winning at least placing in the armpit contest in Battle Mountain, when they have armpit days or whatever they call it, the armpit festival. I don't know. Anyways, I did drive through there this morning and gassed up, but I didn't see anything about armpits going on. But on my way back from this other hot spring, I'll pass through Battle Mountain again, and I'll be sure to keep my eyes out. And if I still have that funky smell, well then, by golly, maybe I'll just go into the Chamber of Commerce and see if there's anything they can do for me. All right, well, it's about 4 o'clock, which means it's decision-making time. Now, this other hot spring, I think it's only 76 miles, but it's supposedly, according to Google Maps, is going to take 2 hours and 20 minutes to drive. And when it comes to dirt roads, I generally make better time than they predict. That's probably why my car is so busted. I'm trying to be more zen and drive more slowly now. Because, well, I've been learning a lot about off-roading from the good folks at Rogue Off-Road, this cool new off-road shop I got connected with in Vegas. And they're really nice people, and they started explaining things to me that for some reason, I don't know, I never thought about. Like, for one, I need to keep my shocks clean. After all this off-roading, I should go to the self-car wash and hose them down, because the less dirt on your shocks means the less degradation to the seals. And, well, the less often you'll have to have them rebuilt, which in my case has been frequently, even though the good folks at Icon, who manufactured my fine shocks, have been nothing but helpful to me. And I have a lot of respect for them, and they had great customer service, at least as far as I'm concerned. But anyways, I'm just babbling again. I tried to go to a different hot spring yesterday, but unfortunately it was raining. And, well, that hot spring is kind of in a marshy bog, and so, well, I aborted mission, not because of the mud. I still made it to the hot spring, but there was somebody else already there. And I don't know, man. Well, I wanted to make a video, and I feel rude making a video if somebody's already there soaking. I mean, there's no question, it would be rude. So I had already been to that hot spring before for fun. I was just going to make a video. So I kind of thought, screw this. I'll just go somewhere else. And I went and camped just in the mountains for the night. But my car was covered in mud, like muddy mud city. So guess what I did first thing this morning? Drove right into Elko, Nevada to the Buggy Bath, which is very conveniently located right at the edge of town when you come out of the mountains, because they know people are going up there doing a lot of off-roading. And I gave her all my wheel wells and shocks and everything, a nice hosing down. So my car, well, I was going to say my car's clean, but it was clean. It's dusty again already from driving to this place. So tomorrow I'll go into Winnemucca. It's the next town I'll be passing through, and I'll give her a quick hosing down again. But anyway, like I was saying, 6 o'clock, it's decision o'clock. I have 2 choices. One, well, I could just hang out here in my floaty and soak and relax and, well, until dark, I guess. And then once it gets dark, float around a bit and then drive to that other place to camp. But the downside to that is I don't really like driving into campsites in the dark, A. B, I tried to camp there last summer at the same campground with my sister, but there was a big Mormon cricket infestation in this area. If you know what those are, it's kind of like a locust, just really big, hideous bug that eats everything in its path. I'm pretty sure it would eat people too. So I'm not kidding. By the way, you can look them up. Mormon crickets. They're disgusting. Well, there was a whole bunch of them at that campground last year. And while I didn't, or I should say I haven't seen any Mormon crickets on the highway at all, and I was keeping an eye out for them, believe me, that's not to say they aren't at the campground. So I would really hate to roll in there after dark and just want to go to bed and then have to deal with a Mormon cricket infestation. Now, I think actually the more appealing option is option number 2, which is get out, take off this soggy swimsuit, and then cruise on to the other hot spring, which is also in the middle of a broiling hot desert and probably has even less shade than this, if the satellite image is to be believed. But, you know, I'll be out in the middle of nowhere. I can just hang out in the shade until it gets cool enough. Well, by the time I get there, it will be cool enough. And then hopefully I can just have a nice peaceful soak out there and camp right on site. And that way I don't have to worry about it if I want to have a drink or something. And I don't like to drink and drive. So unfortunately, that means it's time to get out of this really nice little pool. I am really sorry I disparaged it for being scummy and, well, whatever all else I said bad about it. You're awesome, Spring, and I will definitely be back. Oh wait, what's this? Speaking of Mormon crickets, hold everything. Love how I'm paddling towards it, by the way. What is that? Oh, you know what? I thought it was some kind of bug carcass, but now that I look at it up close, I think it's actually a turd. Ew! I mean, like it's any less gross, but I think it's probably a dog turd. You know how these friggin' hippies are? They come to these hot springs and they always gotta bring their dang dogs with them. And I love dogs. I have a dog. I love my dog, but I don't take him to friggin' hot springs and let him poop all over the place. You know what I mean? I've even been to hot springs where people bring their dog in the friggin' water with them. It's just ridiculous. Like, come on, guys. Maybe that's what that funky smell was, now that I think about it. It wasn't me after all. I was floating around by a dog turd. Well, at least there's that. I know that my deodorant is working. Okay, let me get this little dragonfly. Come on, feather. And let me get my floaty. I guess it's a good thing I already blew up this floaty because, hey, it might come in handy at the other hot spring. I don't know if this second one is going to be big enough to float in, but if it is, I'll be dialed in and ready to go. Oh man, unfortunately my little dragonfly busted in half. I was trying to lay him there on the dashboard in the sunshine so he could dry out while I'm driving, but his body broke, unfortunately. But I think that's still okay. I can probably glue it back together. I know I probably sound like really gross and ghoulish, but that's not gross. Let me show you what is gross. That's gross. Look, it's another pile of dog turds. Or I don't know, that actually might be... That looks more like wild animals. Okay, cool. I was about to get all heated up and start ranting and raving about hippies. You know, I guess for that matter, that other turd over there could have just been a coyote poop too. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if coyotes go to hot springs or not. I mean, I wouldn't think that the water would be good for them to drink. And I can't imagine what else they would do there. But some animal that came to the hot spring left that behind. And let's just hope it was natural and not, well, not some black lab named after Jerry Garcia. Uh-oh, yikes. Man, this place is definitely not warm and spending the night. Look at this. Look at this ginormous friggin', that's not a Mormon cricket. It's, oh, sorry, let me get my shadow off of it. I don't know what that is, but it's not a Mormon cricket. It's some kind of ginormous cicada or something. Hey, Failer. Oh, golly. Wouldn't want him getting in my car. I better close my tailgate. No telling how many of them already jumped in there. Ugh. You know what I mean? Like, those are the hazards of desert hot springing. You never know what is going to be hanging out with you. If it's not a rattlesnake, then it's some kind of giant creepy bug. And, well, if it's neither of those, then it might just be a killer hippie. That's kind of another reason why I want to go to this other hot spring instead, because it's like way out in the middle of nowhere, and I have a feeling I will be unmolested. It's not a good day to get molested. Ugh, alright, I got my soggy, wet bikini off and hung up to dry. Now I'm putting my clothes back on. This is why I like soaking naked. It's just so much easier. If I had been soaking naked, I would have got out of the dang tub. It's so hot and arid out here, I would have dried off on the walk back to the car. And I could have just put my clothes on and carried on my way, no fuss, no muss. But this country's got some strange puritanical ideals, and apparently some lady ate an apple that was offered to her by a snake way back in the day. And, well, ever since then, I've had to keep my nipples covered. Okay, end of rant. Bye, little hot spring. I'll be back, I promise. I definitely will, because, well, that ranch is so far away from here, and, well, I did see a fire ring a little bit over that way. There was an abandoned farmhouse, like an old stone house, and there was a fire ring right outside of it. So I bet you anything people do camp here, and it's not an issue as long as you clean up after yourself and you're respectful. But hey, that being said, I don't know. According to the book, it's no camping, so do it at your own risk. Anyway, I'm gonna get back in my rig and continue on to the next hot spring, where I know for a fact I can camp, and where hopefully there won't be any of those giant black bugs.